Hey, what's up? What's up? YouTube, Key Geo in the house. I haven't done a live for a while. I've been busy at work, but I gotta get time to my peeps. What's up? How you guys doing today? Today's Thursday. And whenever you guys see this video, it'll be, well, I don't know what day it'll be when you guys see this video. But let's talk. It's called Straight Talk. Let's move on. Hopefully you guys and girls and all that have gotten your stimulus check. If you haven't gotten your stimulus check, it's on its way. So they say. I don't know. With a lot of things going on with the stimulus check, with the tax going on all at the same time, it's kind of hard. But they said that in 100 million people already, or 90 million people. I'm sorry, 90 million people have received a stimulus of some sort. So today is Thursday. We're going to talk. Let's straight talk. Let's shoot from the hip, as they say, right? Now, let me get a couple of things off my chest. These past few days have been chaotic in the sense that, if you look around, everybody's blaming everybody. Everybody's not satisfied with Biden's administration. Hey, what's up, Manifest? Because of the immigration, the right side saying that's the left side's fault. You got yours last Saturday. All right, there you go. That's what it is. Did you invest it? A lot of people are saying that is the left side for the immigration. The right side is saying that is the left. All this kind of jibber jabberish. And we get to miss things what's really going on in the United States of America, right? And I wanted to get in touch with that because we're as a country, we're missing a lot of things. We're forgetting that as we're doing this pandemic, as we're dealing with a lot of things, we're still forgetting that there are starving people in this country or around the world, should I say, that every day, every minute that passes by, there is a child missing, a child is abducted, a woman is being raped. I mean, all that kind of stuff, and we're missing that, and that's something that we should, as a whole, that's something that we should be not concentrating on what the Republicans do or they don't do, what the Democrats do and they don't do. That to me, that's not here or there, because at the end of the day, all they care is for themselves and they just want votes. They really don't care about you and I. So that's the issue. Today I left a message because I want to get in contact with someone who can help me out a little bit more to talk about human trafficking, children, child exploitation. There's a lot of pedophiles out there that we are not talking about. We forget about that. We forget about our children. There are men and women, but obviously more men who are out there on prey, and they're praying for our kids. And that's something that we need to protect. And with child pornography going up and all that kind of stuff, we tend to give our kids the computer or the tablet or this phone, and we don't, as well, not me, but I just put myself in this group. We forget that there are predators out there that know a little bit more about computers than we do, and they're more sophisticated in luring your kids into a situation where they say, okay, I want to meet this person, and blah, 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 blah. So that's something that I want to get in touch with a lot of people. I want to get into contact with, I'm getting in contact with some person, with a few entities or a few people who can come on my show and can tell me more about what's going on and how do we face it, and how can we control to stop this pandemic that we call child pornography, human trafficking, all that kind of stuff. And we don't talk about it that much. We let it in the back burner. We're caught up in things that at times we don't even have control of. That's the sad part. But there are certain things that we can't control. And that's the one thing. The thing that I wanted to get at. It frustrates me. It frustrates me when I see our own people go against us, and I say this with conviction in my heart, because as you see the video that I left earlier on with Candace Owens, it just seems to amazes me how people like her, they give her a voice, or she has a voice, but they give her a platform where she can throw out trash, and a lot of people who don't know any better, right? Who don't know any better, follow her. She goes against her own people. She goes against, she doesn't know what the black community goes through because she's never been there. She doesn't go, she has never been, she never lived in the hood. She's never done none of that. And for her, to say the things that she say, because she goes by numbers. She doesn't really go by what really goes on in the real world, because she doesn't live in that. She doesn't live in the real world. She doesn't live in that world where you have to lock your doors. You have to go outside in the streets. You have to look both sides. You have to up inside. You don't know where you're gonna get mud, robbed, whatever the way it may be. That can happen anywhere. But she doesn't live that. She doesn't know that. She doesn't know what it is. She does not know what it is to live in an old black community or an old mixed community where there's blacks, Hispanics, that kind of stuff. She doesn't know she doesn't know anything about that. And then for her to come out and say yesterday or the day before that the Cardi B WAP was a disgrace, and that this generation is dead, that this country's going into chaos. I mean, believe what you want to believe. If you think that the WAP is going to destroy the nation or it's going to destroy our morality, then you're an idiot. Hey, what's up, Cheese Knife? What's up, Stanley? There are more important things in the world that I can think of that I think can harm a person, and it's just stupid. What's up, Knife? You doing good, bro? Thank you. So when I see that instead of us uplifting each other, one to another, we're degrading ourselves, and that's not good. And that's why that's one of the things that I don't like about Candace Owens. She has the right to give her opinion, but I think she's giving it the wrong way. I think that with a voice that she has, she can reach out to more black people. She can reach out more to the black community, and she can give a positive message. But she chooses not to because she wants to stay relevant in the game, on whatever game that she wants to be called. So she wants to stay relevant in that game. She wants to. You doing good, fam? Cheese Knife. How we fam? Are we fam? I don't know. So she wants to stay relevant in the game, and the way she's doing it wrong. It's like when you follow Shapiro. Have you ever seen Ben Shapiro? That's another idiot who talks garbage, and just another kid with another big mouth that just talks a number game, who's never been in a situation where he has to fend for himself or has to go out in the streets, or was never homeless. He doesn't know any about that. Shapiro, just the last name tells you everything, right? But these are people who have never done anything to say, you know what, I know what this person is going through. They try to say they do, but they don't. And that gets me mad. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is I want to talk about something that I just found out today about Black Lives Matter. I was unaware. I thought that Black Lives Matter was. I mean, I know they're a group, but I thought they were all together. Chapter, not a chapter. That sounds so gang. The group from New York they were the group from Los Angeles, the group from Los Angeles, Texas. I thought they were all together, but I come to today to find out they're all there for the greater good, for the same good, but they're different. And most of them don't even talk to each other. And that's kind of scary, because I've seen places where Black Lives Matter can make a difference, like in the case of the young girl Amika, that she was run down in Mississippi by a white woman. Her name is Karen, and Black Lives Matter in New York or Black Lives Matter in Los Angeles has not done anything, but Black Lives Matter in Mississippi has done something. And they're a smaller group, so it's kind of sad. And if you're a group, you're supposed to all be. It doesn't matter. You're supposed to all be together. I'll give you an example. I just saw something about a year ago. I saw that it happened a year ago, but I saw it like a week ago about a Hispanic kid in Las Vegas, Nevada. He was in a Black Lives Matter movement. He was going towards his car. Police officers stopped him. They hit him with beanbags. He ran. As he's running, you see him through the camera. He's running. He trips. He runs. He crosses the street. And when he crosses the street, he gets shot at like 6, 7 times in the back, and he dies. And I never saw, or I haven't seen any Hispanic movement raising awareness to that the officers in this case have to be arrested. That the officers in this case have to be, held accountable for. And that saddens me because we're supposed to be, us Hispanics, we stick together. At least that's what I think we do. And nothing has happened with this case. I think the officers were never charged, and that is kind of sad. So what do we do? Yo, what up, Stanley? Yeah, I see that, man. I see that, Stanley. I was talking to a young lady today, because she is in the Black Lives Matter movement in Mississippi, and that's what I was talking to her about that today. And she said this, there are times that members don't even talk to each other, and and that's kind of that's kind of bad, because Black Lives Matter just the other day received, from what I understand, they raised like 22 million, something like dollars like that, and even though they gave it to different entities, I think that if you see something that's not right, not just because I think the way I see it is they're taking out big cases, though they're taking out big news. And they taking from that, but when it comes to little ones, they don't do that, and that's kind of sad. What's my I think of the Asian attack, I think is pathetic. You got to remember one thing, that this all is happening because remember Donald Trump before said this was a China thing. It was a China virus. So there's been a lot of attacks on Chinese. There's been like 2,000 attacks, over 2,000 attacks on Asian Americans. And these are people who come to this country or work like you and I do, and people who attack them are really plain stupid. But this all stems from Donald Trump saying this is an Asian thing. I mean, this is a China thing, and people are so stupid. Just because they got eyes like this, they all think they all come from China, and they don't know that they can come from Philippines, that they can come from Japan, they can come from anywhere else. But they assume, and they always attack and say, "Oh, if you go back to China, this was your fault." When it's not really their fault, they have nothing to do with it. But I think it's ignorant. I think that as a society, we cannot accept these things. If you guys are watching this and you know anyone who has taken action or who has taken malice on an Asian American, for that matter, because of whatever reason, especially because of this, you should report that person. Well, put it this way, we don't know to be honest with you, we don't know where the virus came from. We do know that the virus is from bats, but that's the way they want to. That's the way they want to report it, and that's the way it has been reported, that it came from China, and China neither denies nor acknowledges it. So I guess it is what it is. But the the COVID virus has been on for years. If you look at your Lysol bottle from back in the days, if you find a Lysol bottle that's 10 years old, look at it, and it says this disinfects against COVID, herpes, all that kind of stuff. And even show and then it shows you COVID. It doesn't say COVID-19. It just says the COVID virus. See, but you know what's the problem with that cheese knife? That if you kill all the bats, and the bats are essential to our ecosystem, just like the bees. If you kill all the bees, then you wouldn't have an ecosystem. We'll be screwed. Same thing with the bats, because bats kill. They're here for a reason. So they kill rats, they kill rodents, they kill snakes. I mean, so that's what they do. So that would never help. What you got to do is that you have to. Let's just say, like in China, these people, they cook outside and they sell these animals with bloods outside. They're going to be there's a blood pathogen that's going to jump from one place to another. So stuff like that, selling stuff that are selling dead animals outside, selling animals outside should be a no-no. Yeah, bats make honey, cheese knife. Yeah, they do. And bees are blind and they hunt at night. So that's what you have to regulate, and you can't regulate China because China's China. But yeah, but the COVID, to me, the COVID's been here for a while. I think that anyone who believes that we did this, that the that the vaccine was just that the vaccine just came from nowhere and just they took a year to do it or less than a year, has to be crazy. Has to be crazy. This vaccine's been working on for years. I mean, when COVID first came out, which is SARS, they already had a vaccine for it later on. But SARS left and they couldn't do anything. And SARS is back now, which is COVID-19. SARS 1 was COVID. It is COVID. Cheese knife. Do you know what socialism is? Because a lot of people are getting confused. Yeah, I know they've been eating bats for years, but it's the way you conduct the business of doing food outside. If you and I and 10 other people have when we're selling food outside and pathogens are going to those blood pathogens, something's going to happen when those blood with that blood. It's just nature. I mean, one is going to jump. Something's going to happen. That shouldn't be allowed. You know. So it's okay. So cheese knife. So if you know what socialism is, explain to me what socialism is. Because a lot of people are getting socialism confused. I mean, you have the Republican Party saying socialism is what you would call it communism, and they're not. All right. So if you whether you Google it or not, if you Google it or not, right? So socialism is the same share of wealth to the workers. So you don't believe in. So you don't believe in that. Then you don't believe. Should you? Let me ask you. Should you get paid? Should you get paid for your work? I mean, for the hours that you work, or should you get paid for what you actually deserve to get paid? So here you are. Here you are. You're the owner of a company. You're making $20 million. No, not you. They say you're the CEO. You're making $20 million a year, bonuses and all that. And here I am, and my back homies are in the back, working $7.25 a day. I mean, an hour, to making your whatever it is that you make, and making you rich. Hey, thank you, Manny Faz, for the $5. I appreciate that, guys. Don't forget that I got super chat. So if you want to donate, if you want to give to the cause, go ahead, man. And more power to the working class, than they distribute the wealth among themselves. No, you don't. You don't distribute the wealth among yourself. This is what socialism is. I have a company. This is me. I'm making X amount of dollars. I'm going to give you some of that money. I'm going to give this person some of that money. I'm going to give that person. I'm going to share what I have with you. I'm going to pay you what you're worth. I'm not going to pay you an hour. I'm going to pay you what you're worth. Companies like United Airlines. United Airlines is a company that when they make a profit, you make a profit. So every quarter, every 3 months, United Airlines sends out a check to its employees, full time or part time. So you will see a check of $100 or $200. You will see 100 or $200 or whatever it is, but it's always more than $100, $100 and up. You will see that in your paycheck because they pay. They made money. They want to give you. $100 may not seem a lot, but that just shows you the appreciative of things. So that's the way I see it. I'm making money, you make money. They don't see it that way. They don't see it that way. I see it. I see things differently. But it's just like it's just basic things. What we're in this predicament because people are not wearing masks. And since you were a kid, your mother always told you wash your hands. Everything that you do, you wash your hands. The hands is the dirtiest part of your body. It's the dirtiest because you're always touching stuff. You can sell anything in this country, of course you can. But why? What? Cheese knife. Why do you despise socialism? Do you want to get? Now tell me something. Do you want to get paid? Do you want to get paid what you're worth, or you want to get paid what they tell you that you're worth? Because a lot of people put it this way. A lot of people tell you, oh, that immigrants are coming from other countries and they're taking away our jobs. No, they're not taking away our jobs because there are a lot of people that don't want to work. Let me tell you something. There are some American people that they feel so privileged that they don't want to work. That working in a farm is too demeaning for them. That picking up tomatoes is too demeaning for them. That picking up lettuce is too demeaning for them. That working on a construction site for $10 an hour is too demeaning for them. So they want to get $25, $30 an hour. They want to unionize everything. So you don't blame the immigrant for coming from another country to this country to work. If you want to blame someone, blame the person who's doing the hiring. Go ahead, speak. If in this country, I don't care what you do, you can make it in this country. You can. If you put your heart and your desire to it, you can. I don't care what it is, what you want to do, you could do it. But unfortunately, we live in a society that everybody wants to just sit back and relax. Back in the days, back in the 20s, back in the 30s, there wasn't no welfare. There was no food stamp. All right? You had to work. If you didn't work, you screwed. You had to work. You had no choice but to work. People dropped out of school because they had to. People dropped out in the 6th, 7th grade just because they had to feed their families. There was nothing like, I'm going to sit back and relax and get food stamp. Of course, there's a market. Of course, you're actually right, Stanley. There's a market for everything. Cheese Knife said is all connected to an ideology that is part of a regime that starved its own people to the point of eating each other on an island in Siberia in 1933. Okay, I'm listening. So yeah, so you can't look. If you love food, you can open up your small little cart, get a license, and sell food outside. If you love clothes, I mean, there's things that you could do in this country to put yourself ahead. It's kind of sad when people in, let's say, in Los Angeles, where they sell the food outside, and the police officer comes, throw away their food, they keep their money, and they don't give it back to they don't give it back to this person because they don't have a permit. All right, so you just take the card. Don't even take the card. Say, get out of here, pack everything up, and go. So you want me to look at what's Nasimo Island? Okay, so Nasimo Island, you want me to look at what am I looking for here to what we're talking now? What does Nasimo Island have to do with what we're talking? Remember, Nasimo Islands is, whatever it is, you gotta understand, cruelty has been with us since the beginning of time. When Cain killed Abel, when he killed his own brother. So whatever happens in this world, as cruel as it may sound or it may be, it doesn't surprise me anything anymore. Because that's the way men is. Men can do some cruel things, unfortunately. And if we look at the history of Europe, look, the Europeans did horrible things. I'm talking about horrible things. You look at Africa. You talk about Africa is great, but Africa's done a lot of people to its own people. Africa has done a lot of bad to its own people. Same with Europe. Every country has done bad to its own people. Stalin did a lot of bad things to Russia. They all have. Anyone who's led Russia has done bad to his people. All these communist countries are always bad. Look at Venezuela. Venezuela is supposed to be a socialist country because they have their oil, and that's the way it was supposed to be. But Chavez got into it. He said he was a socialist. He wasn't a socialist. He was giving it to himself. Maduro, which is another the now president of Venezuela. Look how he got his country the same way. He's a Chavista. He went with Chavez. So there's a lot of things that that thing. Put it this way. You guys think that Castro was bad? Castro wasn't bad. You think Castro was bad? Castro was not bad. The only difference between Castro was that Castro didn't take shit from the United States. That's the difference. That's the difference. He didn't take shit from nobody. So he said, he said, I'll work with the United States, but I'm not going to be with the United States. I'm not going to get on my knees to the United States. I'm not going to bend my knee to the United States. I'm not going to bend over like Batista did. He's not going to do that. Put it this way. As a matter of fact, I'll give you another story that I didn't even know until recently. We all see that Gaddafi, Muammar Gaddafi, was the way that people say that, the way our government portrayed Muammar Gaddafi in a bad way. But to be honest with you, Muammar Gaddafi was doing good for his own people. Muammar Gaddafi was doing a lot of things that was going to raise his country up. But a lot of people didn't know that. He was doing a lot of good for his country. And at the end of the day, they sent out to kill him. Man, what about Winston Churchill? We're talking about people in the past. Let's talk about people in the future. Let's talk about, what person do you admire now that you would like to see up there, that you would say, you know what, this person can change a course of a life, or can change a person's mind? Yeah, I know Winston Churchill was the person of the past. He's dead. But I'm saying, let's not talk Kanye West for president. Yeah, Kanye West, you got it. Now the Kardashian, did you see Kanye? That guy's weird, bro. I mean, I seen interviews with that guy. He just, I don't know. Kanye West for president and Akon for vice president. What do you think? I'm serious, right? Akon is opening up a city in he's opening up a city in Africa. Weird people are winning, Gio. Well, I like weird. I don't, not too weird, but I like weird. You know what it is when it's like, I like the underdog. That's what I like. I like the underdog. Like Batman and Robin. I don't like Batman. I like Robin. I don't like the Joker. Not because he's the Joker, he's bad. I think I think like G.I. Joe. I like Cobra. So it is what it is. But yeah, weird's taking over. A lot of people doing a lot of weird stuff. Look at Musk. No one heard of Elon Musk a few years ago, and he just the way of his thinking. If you sit down with Elon Musk, he just doesn't think like you and I think. He thinks differently, which is a good thing. And he's not just winning. He's not just doing Tesla, but he's going beyond Tesla. He's opening up markets that other people wouldn't even touch. And who would think that he would do a SpaceX and go into space? No one would. Yeah, but Jeff Bezos is not weird. That's not weird. He just had an idea and went with it. That's not weird. I don't think that's weird. I think that's if you want to call that weird, then you might as well call a lot of people weird. But that's not weird. It's just a man who had an idea, who said, you know what, we could do this, we could do that, and we can make money selling stuff out of because that's how he started, selling stuff out of his garage. So here I am. I'm buying stuff from. I'm buying stuff from you, Stanley. You're giving me to me at a good price, and then I go on and I sell it at a higher price, and I'll ship it to you. And Bezos, I don't like Bezos because he's too much of a greedy of a man, and the way he treats his employees. And I can tell you, and not just because you hear it, because I know people who work for Amazon, and for what Bezos makes, he's paying his employees very little. So that's what it is. I mean, you can't apparently you can expect to pay someone $30 an hour just to work in a warehouse, but you should pay them what they're worth. Because they're the one that's making your company. They're the one that's in the warehouse. They're the one that's doing the packing. Pretty soon all these things that what's going to happen is going to go AI. So everything's going to be artificially intelligent, and people are not going to have a job. The one thing about it that I didn't like Bezos at first, at the beginning, I was okay with Bezos for certain things that he did, like keeping the products here or the workers here. But if you look now, if you call Amazon, who picks up the phone for you? Usually someone in India, because he outsourced those jobs, and he's not the only one. Bezos went from books to living in space. But that's nothing weird about him. Weird is something that no one would think about. Like, oh wow, who would think that? That would, yeah, bro, that's weird. He believes that people will live in space. Nah, that's not weird. That's just a thought. I mean, for years, when I was growing up, people even before the space station was out there, people were talking about living in Mars. Living in space is nothing. I mean, that's going to take time. Would it be beneficial? I don't think so. Because, put it this way, if a human being cannot stand being cooped up here in the world because of COVID, because they say you're taking away my rights, I can't be in my house all this time. If a person right now cannot handle that, can you imagine in space? You have no other choice but to stay where you're at. You can't take a plane and go from Mars to Jupiter, Jupiter to Mars. You can't do that. Here you have no choice but to stay home. No, but the space station is being built right now. But the space station, that's not for you and I to live in, Stanley. If war was to break out loose now, and there was a nuclear bomb, and we only had minutes to live, every president of every country is going up there. Scientists are going up there. Engineers are going up there. People with knowledge of how they can repopulate the world and how can they make plans into this and that. Those are the people who are going to go up there, not you or I. Hey, real estate student. Hi, Gatairis. Not you and I. Be ready for that, Mike. I'm not ready. You know what? What I am ready for? What I am ready for is that the day I die, I get to reach the kingdom of heaven. That I see God, that I see Jesus, and all that. That's all I care about. Everything else is irrelevant. That my kids are left okay. That's all I care about. The rest, I'm just going to enjoy my life. Look. Stanley has a vision of getting his own jet, right? And I believe he's going to do that. He's been talking about that for over a year now, and I believe he's going to get that. And we all have our dreams and aspirations. And I just don't. I'm not going to think about things that I cannot. You gotta go ask a question, Cheese. Things that I cannot. I don't have a grasp to it that I cannot handle it. That I can't have no control of. Like Elon Musk, he said he wants to build a world in Mars, and that's going to take years. I'm talking about hundreds of years, because you have to. There's a lot of things that goes on that needs to be done. Let me see something. All right, Stanley, you said G700. Mm-hmm. No, G700. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. The G700. I looked at it, but I don't see it. Do they have Wi-Fi? Have it? I don't know, bro. You think? So I know someone's going to in the casket like, I'm gonna take this phone with me, so you can call me, something like that. Oh man, Gulfstream 700. Oh, That's going to be Stanley's plane, the Gulfstream 700. See, and I believe, see, when a person like Stanley has that adamant decision of that he's going to do something, no matter how long it takes, it could be to the last breath day, and he can just see his own plane. He knows that he's dying satisfied that he at least got it. I mean, of course, he wants to fly it, but he's adamant. And I don't know Stanley per se. I've never seen Stanley, but the time that for the year that he's been on my YouTube, that's why he talks about it, and those are his plans. And I believe that he's going to do it. Wi-Fi in heaven. We all joke, but what's at the afterlife, right? No one knows because no one's come back and said anything. But I sometimes say to myself, what is this life? Is just getting us ready for the next life. Could this be a performance? It's just a thought, but I do believe in God, and I do believe that we're just here, and that we're all going to go. We're going to go to heaven, or we're going to go to hell. I read the Bible, but I interpret the Bible in my own way. The other day on TikTok, there was some guys who were talking about how, two guys especially, how a girl and a guy, how they were transformed from one was transgender, and she went back to her roots of being a girl, liking boys. There's another guy who was gay, who just went from being gay to liking girls. And there was another guy saying, I don't know what to do. And people are saying, that's God touching you. And I said, well, no, that's you you were just confused. Because being gay, you just can't turn on the switch and say, I'm straight. You just can't, that doesn't do that. And when people in the church, and when the people in church says, that being gay is a sin, that person right there is committing a sin. And what you do is you confuse people. And when people say, God made us in his own image, people got to understand what it means to say in his own image. There's a lot of things. That's why I interpret the Bible my own way. I don't let nobody interpret it the way that they wanted to interpret it, because then you confuse a person, and I don't want that. So, when I'll give you an example, when God tells you in the Bible, when in the book of Genesis, when he said, let us create men in our image, he didn't say let us create men in our image as far as men in a physical sense. He meant let's create men in our image, because he said us. He didn't say me, he said us. So he must have been with somebody else. So he said, let's create men in our image. He means image internally, spiritually, because remember, God is not a person. God is a spirit. God has many spirits. All right. So he's not a human being. So he didn't say let's create men in our image, or let's create men straight. No, he said let's create men. Let's create men in our image, hoping that you would have the love and the zest that he has inside. And that's what he meant by that. But a lot of people don't see it that way. A lot of people say, God said let's create men in our image, meaning that he was a man. No one said God was a man. God never said he was a man. He said an image. He's a spirit. You don't think Adam and Eve was a real thing? Why not? Hey, Jane, long time. You know that yesterday, the day before yesterday, there was another piece of paper found from the Dead Sea Scrolls, and it's from the Bible, or it's a scripture. They don't know from what it is, so they had to put all the pieces together again. But yeah, I believe Adam and Eve existed. Maybe not to the extent they were named called Adam and Eve, but yes. Science was able to prove that we evolved from monkeys? No, that's never been proven. If we evolved from monkeys, why are monkeys still monkeys? You have a lot of homework. Oh, that's cool. So think about it. Think about it this way, geez. Think about it this way. The world as we know it has the perfect amount of gas. All right, we have the perfect amount of oxygen, nitrogen, hydrogen to breathe, right? There's more water than there is land. Why is that? Right? We can breathe there. The fishes can breathe. The fishes have their own oxygen. We have our own oxygen. I mean, the world is created in such a perfect way. Not Pluto, not Mars, not any of those have that. But we're created in such a way. Charles Darwin was, come on, if you didn't believe Darwinism, really? You know, we created in such a way that it's just, the world is put too perfect. Man is not perfect, but the world is created so perfect that this cannot be a Big Bang Theory thing. It cannot be. It's impossible. So science has never proven the Bible wrong. They tried to, but they have not. Yes, 3/4 of the planet is water. You are correct. And why? Because you need liquid to drink. You need liquid in order for you to survive. You need liquid, right? If the glaciers were to melt right now, all the glaciers will drown. But God is so perfect that He gave us more water than land because there's a reason for it. Because we're supposed to feed from the land as much as we're supposed to feed from the ocean. Wi-Fi in heaven, electronics in the afterlife, Adam and Eve, science. Huh? See, right? Usually, this is what you get when you join the King Geo show. Why doesn't Genesis mention the dinosaurs? Because yes, water is oxygen. You're correct. In the Bible, it does say there are big bones. There are animals with big bones. Hey, let me ask you a question. Who's to say? I'll give you one, Cheese. Who's to say that those bones that you see there in the museum are really dinosaur bones? Who's to say those bones were not made up by man? You don't. Are you an anthropologist? Do you know what real bones look like? You know how? No. So so the same way that we take the word of the Bible, the same way we're supposed to take the word of an anthropologist, say that this creature lived here 30,000 years ago. Put it this way: Jesus died and resurrected over 2,000 years ago, 2,021 years ago. But yet you guys don't believe in Jesus. Some of you guys don't believe in Jesus, but yet you believe that in 1492, Christopher Columbus went to the Americas. A man that never stepped foot here, but he went to the Caribbean. That was in 1492. And before that, come on. Who built the pyramids? The Egyptians must have built the pyramids. The question is not who built the pyramids. The question is how they built the pyramids. That's still a few years ago they came up. I didn't see it, but I heard that they did. But I'm assuming that they pulleys. But those stones are heavy. So and if you see them, those stones are perfectly matched with one another and symmetrically. They are perfectly. So how did they get? I can see you doing one stone here and there, but how did they get all those stones all the way up to the top? When they didn't have the machinery that we have now. You know, that's the thing. And put it this way, and just the other day they found some creature that they've never seen in the ocean, and the ocean is pretty deep. We just can't go into deep because of the pressure. Yes, there were giants back then. Of course, the Bible says there were giants back then, David and Goliath. And you can see bones of people who were that big. Every generation is smart. Neanderthals had their thing, cavemen had their thing. We have our thing. It's just that we evolved, but we evolved as human beings, but yet monkeys are still monkeys. But we evolved from monkeys, but the monkeys stood back. So instead of evolving and going forward and forward and forward, they stood back and we evolved. You believe that theory? No. Darwin was a man who had nothing else to do, and just wrote things in the book and just like Sigmund Freud. But to say that we evolved, we may evolve here. Here we may have evolved because we come up with different things every day. That's evolving. But to say that we were monkeys and we evolved from monkeys to now, no. Like I said, if that happened, then why are monkeys still monkeys? Explain to me that. Why are monkeys still monkeys? That's what I'm saying. My point's exactly. If we came from apes, from chimpanzees, because they say chimpanzees are the one that got 97% of our DNA. If we come from chimpanzees, we come from apes. Why are the apes still apes? I mean, evolve means that you come from here, right? This is evolve. You start off. Let's just give you an example. You start off this way, right? And then you evolve to this. Now, if you evolve from this to this, that means that this stays behind, right? So this continues. And as this continues, you evolve from this to this. And then this continues. And then you keep on going forward. And that's how evolution works. You just don't stay here, evolve from this. You stay here and this goes out. No, because eventually this species will die. Cheese Knife says, hold on, we need to go to use the bathroom. Well, we didn't need all that information, but that's okay. Thank you. Go to the bathroom. And now we're going to pause for a brief message. So I believe, maybe we were born with stuff in our bags and stuff like that. That can be possible. But to say that the evolution, let's just say I believe in dinosaurs. Dinosaurs, my theory is that if dinosaurs did exist, they didn't die because the Big Bang, or they didn't die because a meteorite hit the Earth. No. If dinosaurs really existed in this world, the only reason they got extinct is because you have one dinosaur that's eating, that eats food, right? They eat meat. I think that was the Tyrannosaurus Rex. And that big mofo who's going around eating other animals. And when they're not eating other animals, what you do, you go against your own. So you start eating each other. And to the end of the day, there was no more Tyrannosaurus Rex to eat, or there was no more little vegetarian dinosaurs to eat, and they just ate each other out. Not like that, okay? Don't think nasty. But they consumed one another until the end, until just where there was just one dinosaur left, and that dinosaur just died because there was no more food. If we go that dinosaurs do exist, because like I said, who's to prove to us that those bones are really actually dinosaur bones? We don't know. Yes, the silverback gorilla is a vegan, but if you look at apes, most apes are vegan. All they eat is fruit. But the silverback gorilla, that's a big ass gorilla though. That was the same with that Siberian animal. Are we still back with the Siberian thing? So yeah, that's the way it is. So if you believe in Darwin, if you believe in Sigmund Freud, if you believe in this day, you're not gonna come up with anything. You just gotta believe what you believe in. Yes, that's exactly. That could have happened if dinosaurs existed. That's it. Geez, if dinosaurs existed, that's the only way of their extinction. Is that they ate one another out. What, the silverback gorilla can bench press 6,000 pounds? I believe that. Because that silverback, have you seen the silverback gorilla? That gorilla is huge. That's a big gorilla. And once that boy gets up, yeah, that's how you better do. You better just drop dead. And you better play dead. if you ever come encounter with a silverback gorilla. I mean, not here, but you never know. Like it's like, have you seen these people like last year, not last year, 2 years ago, when these two women, one of them in the Bronx Zoo, went inside a gorilla cage, and then the other one went into a tiger cage, and one of them got bit. What do you expect to happen when you go into these places? Why would you even go inside of a gorilla cage, even though they're supposed to be tamed? Why would you go inside a tiger cage when they're supposed to be tamed? Just because they say they're tamed? These are wild animals. Okay, they're tamed because they're confined to a small space, and that's what they've been taught. That's like, why would you have a tiger for a pet? Why would you have an alligator for a pet? That makes no sense to me when people do that, because these are wild animals. And one of these days, those wild animals, even if you tame a tiger to the way you want to tame, one day that tiger, the animal instinct is going to come out, because they're animals. And the day that you don't have no food for the animal, is going to bite the shit out of you. And then they say, "Oh no, my tiger bit me because I had no food." No, tiger bit you because it's a tiger. It's like, Stanley, you know the story of the frog and the scorpion, right? And that's the way life is at times. It's in their nature. Some people lie so much that they become pathological liars. That's in their nature to lie. That even when they try to tell you the truth, they can't say the truth, because they become so consumed with lies that they become pathological liars. That lie, saying a lie, is their life. And that is sad. Let me see something here. Which it can be. I don't want to use that one. I want to use the other one. Let me see. I wanted to use another Wi-Fi. They believe it themselves. Yes, they do. And it's sometimes you can say a lie because you don't want to hurt someone's feeling. But when a person lies so much to the point that lie becomes part of their lives, that's when the pathological lie comes in. That they believe that, if I tell you this lie, it's going to be true. I believe that if I tell you this lie, I'm not going to get away with it. That's the way it starts. Did you do this? No, I didn't do it. That's lie number one. Will you ever do it? Will you do it again? No, I won't do it again. That's lie number two. So, I mean, at times, you just better off just telling the truth, even if you hurt that person. But if you think you're gonna hurt that person, just make sure you tell that person in a way that the hurt wouldn't be so bad. Yeah, I know, right? Too old to lie. I mean, you lie as a kid because you don't want to get punished by your mom or your dad, by your parents. You don't want to get in trouble. Because you don't want the outcome was going to be, you're gonna get spanky, whatever. But it comes to a point that you say, you know what? That it comes to a point you say, you know what? I don't want to lie. I mean, like you said, that you have no reason to lie. A person lies because they're hiding something, or they're hiding something, or they don't want the truth to come out. The same thing. But when you lie, you're compounding something that at the end of the day, it's going to be founded. So if you have to put it this way, you said you're going to meet someone, you're going to meet a girl, or a girl's going to meet a guy, and you have to lie to meet that person, and you have to lie to that person, then you're starting off that in a bad foot. And when that person, let's just say that person gets to like you, and that person finds out the truth, then that person is not going to trust you, and then that person is going to leave you. So then all that time that you spent, all those hours, all those minutes, all those days, all those months that you spent trying to conquer this person, right? And finally, you conquer the person, and then all of a sudden, boom, this person finds out that you lied. That person will leave. Same thing with the job. You lie at your job because you want to get ahead of your job, and then you at your job, and then when the truth comes out, they have to let you go because you lied. And it's true. Sometimes you just get too old to lie. You're like, there's no point of me lying. Why would I need to lie? If you need to lie to get ahead, then that's a shame. But sometimes in life, you have to lie to get certain things because some people, even if you tell them the truth, they wouldn't care. So let's just say you go to them and you say, let me see, you want to get something. That person may say, I'm not going to give it to you. And you're telling them the truth. But if you tell them a lie, okay, here you go. You got it. But anyways, this was a good conversation, guys. I appreciate your live. Yo, Manny Fast, thank you for the $5 and thank each and every one of you guys to tuning into my live. I appreciate it, my love. See you guys tomorrow. There's nobody else here. I'm about to leave. Let's get this going back on tomorrow. All right, I'll do another live tomorrow. Before I go to work, and keep an eye on your children. There's a lot of perverts out there. There's a lot of things going around there. Forget about what's going on with the world. Attain to yourself. Be good to each other. And don't lie. God bless. Yo, Stanley, I appreciate you coming on, bro. I appreciate you standing on for an hour with me. All right, thank you very much. Rayuz, Gataidi, Manny, Cheese Knife. Thank you, everybody. I appreciate it. My love. Peace.